Okay, so today we're going to review the Dewalt screwdriver kits, brushless, subcompact series screwdriver or driver drill, as other manufacturers call it. This kit is DCF601F2. I think this thing's been around for a couple years now. This is the 12-volt version of this drill driver or screwdriver, as they call it. And I'm going to tell you why I prefer this over an impact driver. So we're going to take this out of the box. First, I'll kind of just read a little bit about it. This is their new Extreme subcompact series. This is the smallest package in these series tools that you can get. They're all brushless, whether you get the drill, the impact driver, whatever you get, it's the compact version. If it says Extreme, and it's the 12-volt series. Now, let's turn this box around here. So here on the box, it says that the max power is 200 UWO. Now, UWO is, I think it's unit watts out. And I guess, I don't know how new of a rating system that is. I would rather that be in like inch pounds or even foot pounds, because that tells me more of how tight it will get a screw or a bolt if I'm tightening that up. Obviously, the higher that number, the more powerful it's going to be. And I'll just read the definition here of what this says that UWO means. The drill's power rating is measured by unit watts out, UWO, the point where the drill's speed and torque output are the highest. The higher a drill's power rating, or UWO, the faster it will perform on the job site. So until a lot of other things are going to be measured by that, it's hard to compare one to the other. Because if you have an older say drill driver that does not use that power rating, if it uses max, say 65 inch pounds or 100 inch pounds, I don't know how that compares to that. So that's my 2 cents worth on that. Anyway, it does go up to 1100 RPM, and we're going to be comparing this with a 15-year-old 12-volt Hitachi drill driver, which is the original drill driver or screwdriver that I had, that I bought 15 years ago, roughly 15 years ago. This has got 15 clutch settings. It's 1/4-inch drive, quick release chuck. Now the tool weight's about almost 5 pounds, 4.8 pounds. The tool only they're saying is 1.5 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry. Tool length is 4.8 inches. Tool weight is 1.5 pounds. Now, it does have a 3-year warranty, as you can see there. 1 year free service, 90-day money-back guarantee. The battery warranty is 2-year free service. Now, one of the reasons I bought this Hitachi 15 years ago, before I go on with this, and here's the Hitachi, is they had a 10-year warranty on their batteries. And I have to say, I have never warrantied out. I've got the whole collection of these mini Hitachi hand tools. They're 12-volt. The reason I bought them is because in my line of work, the more compact a tool is, the handier it is. I don't like a big bulky tool. So this was very attractive to me 15 years ago. We're going to compare the size, how much power this has got versus the Dewalt. This does have a lot of wear on it, as you can tell. The one at work, literally all this green is just peeling off. Much, much worse than this one. But this particular Hitachi, this is the DB10DL. The RPM on this is 400 RPM. If I'm seeing that right. I can't hardly see it. It's so small. 0 to 400 RPM, it looks like. And that's about all it says on that. So I've been using this Hitachi safe, like I say, for 15 years, and it's been doing good. So we're going to compare it to this new Dewalt. So let's get this thing out of the box and see what you get here. Looks like a nice case. I kind of like that case. It's kind of flat, easy to carry. Looks like you could use this for a lunch bag if you needed to. Because obviously, I'm not gonna keep all this stuff in the bag. Got a instruction manual, which I'll probably never read unless I start having issues and problems. There's the actual, what they call the screwdriver. I call it a driver drill. I think that's more appropriate terminology, personally. For me, a screwdriver is long and pointy. Got a charger. And you got two 2-amp-hour batteries. These are lithium ion. What these are going to have in them is 3 18650s, is my guess. So looks like a nice charger. Now we'll take one of these. We'll take both these out of the bag. So I am planning on taking this to work and using this at work. And I'm going to start phasing out my Hitachi collection. I'm going to start going with this Dewalt, I believe. The nice thing about these batteries, for a 12 volt, you do have the fuel gauge. So now I have to admit, I did take these out of the bag and I put them on the charger so they would already be charged up whenever I did this video. They were on 1 bar. One of them was actually 2 bars, but once I put it on the driver and actuated it a couple times, it dropped it down to 1 bar. So I put both these on the charger, topped them off. They're both fully charged up. But here is the meat and potatoes of what we're wanting to look at. Much shorter than the... Now, before I go on with this, whenever I bought this Hitachi, the reason I went with Hitachi, at the time, this was the shortest compact series drill driver that I could find. The Milwaukee at the time was longer than this. I think the only other one at the time that I bought this that was out was a Ryobi. The Ryobi was the longest. Then the Milwaukee was longer than this, and this was by far the shortest. So, just to give you an idea, I don't know what the best way to do this is going to be, but... So this is even shorter by at least an inch, it looks like. It's probably about an inch shorter. It's a little fatter. The fatness is not going to bother me. I've got to reach up into tight places on aircraft, and which is where this came in. This fit almost every place I ever wanted to get it. There was a couple places that wouldn't, but I think this is going to fit even more places. This is brushless. The Hitachi was not. It is not a dual speed machine. It's just single speed, but it is 1100 RPM. And you can see right there where it says part number is a DCF601 screwdriver. Like I say, I don't really like calling these screwdrivers, but I guess you can call them whatever you want, especially if you're the manufacturer. So let's throw a battery on this thing. Definitely faster. Like I say, 400 RPM, 1100. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to be able to zip fasteners in and out a lot quicker. Now, the one thing that I was curious about here, the Hitachi, as most, when you try to put a tool in, you can't just push it straight in. You got to pull the collar and push it in. No big deal. Been doing it for years now. I'm curious to see, I've seen in other videos, they say this is a quick insert and quick release chuck. So if it's a quick insert, that means that I should be able to just push this in and it's going to lock. And it did, no problem, no effort at all. Locked right in. Then of course, quick release, you just pull out on it and this comes out. It does have the 3 LED, which is super nice. Now the Hitachi has got a couple of LEDs here, but they're behind this, like, I don't know, textured plastic, and it never really gave off a whole lot of light. Now LED technology has come a long way, so I have no doubt that these 3 LEDs are, I can just tell by looking, they're much, much brighter. And there was times that I was in a spot, needed to get the tool into a dark area and I couldn't see, you know, so now I'm having to hold a flashlight with my other hand while I'm trying to hold back a, you know, a panel or a piece of plastic or something. And it would have been nice to be able to pull the trigger. I guess the battery's dead on that, so let me charge the battery up. Well, you know what, I'm not really going to compare it. This is going to be so much faster and more powerful. You know what I am going to? I'm going to charge the battery up so we can compare these two. And I'm going to tell you why it's better to have a driver, or as they call it, a screwdriver, than an impact driver. Okay, we're back. We've got a battery in here. So, as you can tell on either one of these tools, a screwdriver or a drill driver is going to have a clutch set up on it. And that's what makes these unique compared to a impact driver. And the reason you want to consider something like this, I'm going to show you just real quick how important it is to have a clutch. I'm sure you probably already know, but I'm going to show you anyway so you can get a good feel for why you want this. Okay, so I'm going to zip a few of these screws out here. And we're going to do it with the Hitachi and the Dewalt just to see how fast they come out and also putting them in. So, first let's find us a Torx. Looks about like a 10. Yeah, it's a little loose. Maybe it's 15. Nope. Maybe it's a Torx Plus. Now, Torx Plus, yeah, that's perfect fitness. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of these, what looks like regular Torx, are actually Torx Plus. So if you've got a Torx screw and your bit fits it a little sloppy, it's more than likely a Torx Plus. Look how tight that is. And you do want to use the appropriate one for the fastener, because if you don't, now you run the risk of stripping those out. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to zip out about 3 of these, maybe 4, using the Hitachi. Usually whenever I take things out, I put it on the max setting. In this case, they got a drill bit symbol there, meaning that you can drill with this. So, where are you at there? 1. Okay, that's a long one. We're going to have to remember that. Then we'll do 5. Okay, so now to put them in, you're going to set this clutch about where you want to set it. Usually err toward the lighter side to start with. Now when you go back together, that seems about right. You don't have to feather the trigger hoping that you get the torque properly. If you're using an impact driver, then you're kind of guessing how many impacts it's going to take to tighten that up, and most of the time you end up over tightening it. So now we're going to use the Dewalt. We'll see how much faster it comes out. Much faster. It's even quieter. Okay, so now now I'm not used to this driver, so I'm going to set this, what's that, on about 7, and we're going to see how that is before I... Okay, that's good. So, I mean, obviously, if you're paying attention to what's going on, I'm not having to worry about getting it close and then fingering the trigger to snug it up about where I think it needs to be. The clutch does all the work for me. And that's why I much prefer a drill driver, or in this case a screwdriver, as opposed to an impact. In my line of work, I can't impact screws and bolts and nuts on with the kind of confidence that's required. I need to know, closer than an impact can get me, how tight the fasteners are. Now, just real quick, this part right here that looks like it could be aluminum is not. It's plastic, both on the adjusting wheel here and this part of the body. So yeah, don't think that's plastic. Or don't think that's aluminum. That is definitely plastic. But being DeWalt, I have no doubt that it's going to hold up with no problem. Oh, this is something else that I was wanting to show you, is the significance of the 12 volt versus 18 volt. Now this is my 18 volt rigid battery. You can see how much smaller the 12 volt battery is. So if you're doing a lot of, you know, whether it's woodworking, automotive, my main use for these tools are in automotive and aircraft. I also use them whenever I do my woodworking. These are nice for what they are, but you don't want to have to sit there for hours on end using a power tool that's going to weigh twice as much as it needs to for what you're using it for. 15 years I've been using my 12 volt Hitachi. It's gotten me by with no problems. Now the DeWalt's going to be taking its place. I think the DeWalt's a better setup, and is going to be a nicer tool, without a doubt. It's more comfortable, it's brushless, more power, more speed, more efficient. The batteries are probably going to last longer because it is brushless. But regardless whether this is rigid or Milwaukee or DeWalt, the batteries are going to be bigger than the 12 volt series, and when you look at the power ratings, they're not all that much different. So keep that in mind when you go buy whatever you need to get. I prefer the smaller platform of the 12 volt series over the 18 or 20 bolt, depending on manufacturer. Anyway, enough rambling on about this. Just kind of wanted to show a quick demonstration. Now, while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot some screws into a board, and we're going to use this on the max setting, and we're going to see how it does. So let me get set up here. Okay, we have a 2.5 inch number 10 wood screw here. We're just going to be shooting it into this pallet, and we're going to see how it does. Absolutely no problem. I mean, even countersunk it. So let me set the clutch on it. That's on about 11. One more notch. Perfectly flush. Let me get one more screw. Perfect. So if you're just building a pallet, for instance, in my opinion, this would be the tool to have. You set the clutch. It'll even if you don't use the clutch, it's going to countersink them if you want. If you set the clutch where it needs to be, this was on 12. The clutch does go up to 15, and then you got your max. It's small, it's compact, it's light. You can sit there and use it all day long building pallets, and it's not going to fatigue your arm as fast as an 18 bolt similar tool. This is a drill. It does have a clutch, so you could use this same tool for the same job, but look at the size difference. And then, of course, you got to remember the 18 volt battery would be on, on the rigid here. So I don't know. This right here to me is a no-brainer. It had absolutely no problem driving these into that wood. So if you had a 3 or 4 inch screw, it'd probably drive it just as easily and just as fast. Anyway, that's it. This kit comes with 2 batteries, charger, the tool, and a nice bag. Oh, and it does have the little belt clip that I'll never use. So this little thing will live here in the bag. Comes with some cardboard and some desiccant. So yeah, that'd make a nice little Dewalt lunch bag. If you're not going to need the bag for the tool, use it. Put your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in. All right, you guys take care. I'm out.